Hey Marbites, welcome back to the channel and welcome back any new watchers or subscribers. I am Rogue Marby Scott today. So I'm going to be doing a little series about nursery rhymes and their origins, and I kind of want my makeup to resemble those nursery rhymes and also be a little bit on the glam side, so a little glam and gore going on here. Most of the nursery rhymes you'll probably know. Some of the nursery rhymes you probably might not, or you've heard them but don't know the whole, you don't know all the lyrics, you know. Yeah, you'd be probably surprised by a lot of what I'm going to be showcasing in this series. So, a lot of nursery rhymes that I was looking for and that I remember using when I was a child. Using as a child, I mean sung as a child and sing now to children in my family and children around the world. You know, I find like some of them just do sound a little bit odd. Especially like there's this nursery rhyme, what is it called? Rub-a-dub, that's what it's called, 3 men in the tub. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in the tub. Isn't that a private affair? There's some other stuff like Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty was never said to be an egg. However, we now know him to be an egg, and it's just like, well, I don't think Humpty Dumpty was an egg, and why? Where did that come from? Where did Humpty Dumpty become an egg? So my first look today, I'm going to be doing Ring Around the Roses. So, first things first is I'm going to create my base because I want my look to evolve for you to see. So I'm going to put my foundation on, concealer, then I'm going to throw on some powder just to get rid of the shine a little bit, and then we'll move on. So to understand the urban legend, urban myth of this nursery rhyme a little bit more, we're going to have to go back to the 1300s, the time when the Black Death was a bubonic plague pandemic. The bubonic plague? What is the bubonic plague? Well, it is the most common form of plague and is caused by the bite of an infected flea or rodent. Now, I like animals and everything, and I really didn't even know that fleas bit humans. I just thought they was just on animals or whatever. But anyway, this is when it reached England. The term Black Death wasn't even used until the late 1600s. Allegedly originated somewhere in Asia, the Black Plague swept west along trade routes across Europe and allegedly, let me just say that again, allegedly arrived on the British Isles from the English province Gascony. Does this sound familiar to you? Like the last 2 years we've been in a pandemic. Does this sound familiar to you? Rah! Using the Vampirism palette from Jolie Beauty, of course, I'm going to create an under eye look. I'm winging it out from my inner corners up to my temples, and as you can see, I'm using dark colors because I want this whole look to just be very dark. I decided that I wanted to do a sort of glam eye, even though it may get lost or blended in well, just so that, you know, there is some sort of glam and gore going on with this look. Using a bruise wheel now, I am going to create some bruises on my face using the red, blue, green and yellow. I'm also going to use some brown just to blend that into my skin so that it kind of gradiates and has some sort of realism for when I create and place my bubonic plague boils onto my face. Continuing our story, Ring Around the Roses is originally an English nursery rhyme or playground singing game. It first appeared in print in the late 1800s, but it has been reported that a version was already being sung to the current tune we know now in the late 1700s. It has a Roud Folk Song Index number of 7925. Now, is it just me, but all the nursery songs that I remember singing when I was younger, everything always just kind of comes back to England. So I'm just going to go in with the black and blue from that bruise wheel and just give myself some eye bags, some darkness down there, just to make myself look even more sick, you know, because I felt like if I didn't, then it's not actually going to look how I want it or imagine. So yeah, and just blending and just creating a nice, well, gory look. So here I'm just placing some Prosade onto my face, and these are the things that I'm going to be placing on. So that's scar wax, that's a latex prosthetic that I made, and some petals. And then I'm just going to make sure that I've got a couple layers of glue on my face, although it's not liquid latex. And maybe I should have done this first, but I wanted you to see the look evolve rather than me have the prosthetics on first. So this is why I'm kind of working backwards, and you'll see later on that some of the prosthetics do come off because obviously they're not on, they haven't been stuck onto dry, clean skin. They are basically on makeup, which that glue is not going to really uphold very well. So just bear in mind, if you're going to recreate this look, put your prosthetics on first and then do your coloring, shading and all of that. So let's go on to the signs and symptoms of being infected by this plague. So signs and symptoms were swollen lymph nodes, chills, headaches, fever and fatigue, abdominal pain, tissue bleeding and death causing the tissue to appear black, and boils. Very grim. So the lyrics to Ring Around the Roses, and I'm going to give you two versions. Ring around the roses, a pocket full of posies, a tissue, we all fall down. Or ring around the roses, a pocket full of posies, ashes, we all fall down. Let's look into those lyrics a little bit more, what they are allegedly about. So, Ring Around the Roses was meant to say the itchy rash around the infected sores of a sick person. Pocket full of posies, a reference to having posies carried around on you to combat the ever-present smell of sickness. A tissue, as it sounds, carrying tissues to clean up yourself, or even more sinister, ashes, referring to the cremated remains of the deceased. And lastly, we all fall down, stating once you got the plague, you were going to die. Now, as you can see, I'm just creating some tiny little details onto those boils that I've got using the yellow in the bruise wheel, just because I want it to look more realistic rather than just colors. And as you can see here, I'm just using a really fine brush just to create like the beginnings of a new rash and boil. I wanted to create a chapped lip effect. So I'm putting Prose 8 onto my lips, and then I'm going to place some of that cotton from the cotton bud that I'm using to place on my lips and create like a chapped lip effect. It would have worked better with liquid latex, however my room is in such a mess that I couldn't find the liquid latex, so I just went with what I had in front of me already. Then I'm going to shade that in the same way that I've kind of shaded the bruises. Time to stick my rose petals on. And of course, adding some fake blood around my petals and around my face and nose and bits and pieces, you know. Obviously, I mean, it wouldn't be a grim look if there was no blood. I mean, well, it would, but I want it to be even more grim. And the grimness of this story, of this nursery rhyme, does not stop there. What's more creepy is that during the COVID-19 pandemic 2020 towards 2021, I'll state, is that this song was told to children to sing in nurseries and schools while washing their hands, to make sure they were washing their hands for at least 20 seconds. Now, are these children going to, in their future, sing this song and think it's about COVID-19? Who knows? And now I'm just placing black paint onto my hand to act as gangrene, which is basically blood clots in the tiny blood vessels of your fingers or toes, which disrupts the blood flow and causes the tissue to die. So Homo sapiens and Marbites, that's how I got the look for Ring Around the Roses, and as you can see, yes, it's not pretty. Just like the song, it's not pretty at all. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Tell me what you think about this video. Tell me if you actually knew the origins of this nursery rhyme. If you didn't, were you surprised? And if you did know, do you sing it? And when you sing it, do you constantly think of the origins of the story of the nursery rhyme? Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Ciao for now, Homo sapiens, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Rogue Marby Scott.